In 1492, Christopher Columbus first reached the shores of America. In the so-called New World which he discovered, however, the ancient civilizations of the Mayans, Aztecs, Incas, and others were already flourishing. Mesoamerica, or Central America, is a territory where the cultures of these ancient peoples developed. In this video, we will take you on a journey back in time and look at some of the most important cultural sites inherited from the civilizations of pre-Columbian America. Chichen Itza. This ancient city is located on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. It was an important sacred center for worship for the Maya. The name Chichen Itza translates to Well of the Itza tribe. There are no flowing rivers on the territory of the Yucatan Peninsula. The only bodies of water are a few natural wells called cenotes, which were, for obvious reasons, sacred to the Maya. During archaeological investigations of these wells, numerous objects of gold, jade, ceramics, wood, and also human skeletons were found, which speaks of their cultic nature. It was in this special place that the Mayans built their city. According to experts, this significant religious complex was built in the 7th century. It was taken over by the Toltec people and became their capital. The architectural complex includes several pyramids and temples that impress archaeologists and researchers with their design and architecture even today. One of the most interesting inherited ancient sites is the Pyramid of Kukulkan. This 24-meter pyramid testifies to the impressive knowledge the Mayans had in astronomy. A temple was built on its top. Stairs lead to it from the 4 sides of the pyramid. 3 of the stairs are made up of 91 steps, and the 4th staircase has 92 steps. Thus, their total number is 365, a number corresponding to the number of days in a year. The ancient builders reached extraordinary lengths in their craft. They oriented the 4 sides of the pyramid to the 4 directions of the world with incredible accuracy. Thanks to this accuracy, twice a year, during the spring and autumn equinoxes, March 21st and September 23rd, something extraordinary happens. On the north side of the steps, thanks to the angle at which the light falls, the shadow of a huge snake begins to crawl to the base of the pyramid. The idea of counting time is embedded deep in the Mayan culture and quite naturally fits into their temple architecture. This temple is dedicated to the god Kukulkan, who, according to the mythology and religion of Mesoamerica, is a feathered serpent god, creator, and bringer of rains and winds. According to experts, it is a symbol of life both below and above the earth, and as such is the link between gods and humans. Religious ceremonies honoring Kukulkan often also included human sacrifices to appease the gods. Other legends tell of a hero named Kukulkan who, together with his followers, came to the territory of the Yucatan Peninsula and founded the city of Chichen Itza around the 10th century, or else took the city by force, defeating its original settlers. Northwest of Kukulkan's pyramid, archaeologists have identified the so-called Great Ball Court. It is the largest and best preserved court in the complex, measuring 168 by 70 meters, 551 by 229 feet. The next impressive building in the complex is the Caracol Astronomical Observatory. It is a circular building built on a large square platform. The meaning of the name Caracol is a snail, which is also hinted at by the inner vault of the observatory. It is a spiral staircase that resembles a snail shell. The building was probably used for astronomical observations. According to the theories of specialists, the door and windows of the observatory were oriented in such a way that through them the Mayans observed the movement of the planet Venus. To the east of Caracol, there is another building that archaeologists pay special attention to. It is 6 meters high, 50 meters long, and 15 meters wide. There are 7 doors on the long west facade and only 4 on the east side. On the south side, there is 1 door that leads to a small chamber. According to researchers, this was the home of the administrator of Chichen Itza. Today, this incredible archaeological complex, a Mayan heritage, is included in the UNESCO World Cultural and Natural Heritage List, and in 2007 has been declared one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Machu Picchu. High in the Andes Mountains lies the lost city of the Incas. Machu Picchu is an architectural complex located on the territory of present-day Peru. According to archaeologists, the complex was built around 1400. and reflects the need of the Incas to have a religious, political, and administrative center. It is the most famous legacy of their civilization and combines architecture, engineering, and art in harmony with nature. The city functioned until about the middle of the 16th century, when the Spanish raids on these lands began. Some researchers are of the opinion that the architectural style of Machu Picchu suggests that it was a palace complex of the Pachacuti Inca ruler Yupanqui. According to other theories, the complex had a religious character, pointing to its geographical location near mountains that the Incas considered sacred. Scientists are surprised at how well preserved the ruins are. Archaeologists have identified several distinct sectors that form the city. These include an agricultural area, a residential area, a royal area, and a sacred area, all connected by numerous paths and steps. In the southern part of the city is the Sacred Rock, also known as the Temple of the Sun, under which there is a natural cave. One of the structures is called the Main Temple. Of particular interest to scientists is the discovered large rock called Intihuatana. It is a sculpted granite rock that scientists believe had the function of a sundial or calendar. The Temple of the Three Widows is of interest. It is a hall 35 feet long and 14 feet wide with 3 trapezoidal windows on one wall. The Princess's Palace is a 2-story structure that scholars believe housed a member of a noble family. The palace complex consisted of rooms with niches in the walls and a courtyard. The central buildings of the city are an excellent testimony to the architectural and engineering achievements of the Incas. Scientists point out that the stones used in the masonry were cut in such a way that they fit together without mortar. One of Machu Picchu's trails leads to the famous Inca rope bridge that crosses the Urubamba River. In 1911, American history professor Hiram Bingham leads an expedition and reaches the ruins of Machu Picchu. Between 1912 and 1915, Bingham and his team conduct an archaeological dig. Although local residents knew of the existence of these ancient ruins, it was after Bingham's discovery that the complex became widely known. In 1983, Machu Picchu became part of the UNESCO World and Cultural Heritage List. Puma Punku. The Door of the Puma is an ancient structure high in the Andes, located in the territory of Bolivia. It is a large temple complex, part of the archaeological site of Tiwanaku, and dates back to the 6th century. Archaeologists believe it was built by the Tiwanaku Empire, one of the most important civilizations before the Incas. Puma Punku is a terraced mound covered with stone blocks. This is one of those places that is believed to be the proof of the presence of extraterrestrial races. The massive stones, cut and placed with incredible precision, might be interpreted a silent witness to this. In fact, looking at the entire Tiwanaku complex, the Puma Punku structure is nothing out of the ordinary. However, it still stands out from other structures with the highly complex geometric shapes that form the blocks. For example, H-shaped blocks are particularly interesting. Scientists believe that they may have been pre-chiseled, which is not characteristic of the other structures from Tiwanaku. According to some theories, these were not stones, but concrete that was poured into a certain shape. This theory, however, is easily disproved, and it has been proved that there is no concrete in Puma Punku and at Tiwanaku. The chemical analyses carried out determined exactly where the rocks were mined. The large blocks are of red sandstone, believed to have been quarried about 10 kilometers from the site. The smaller, decorative, and facing stones are of igneous andesite. They come from a quarry on the shores of Lake Titicaca, about 90 kilometers away. Puma Punku contains the largest single stone found in the entire Tiwanaku complex. It is 7 meters and 80 centimeters long, 5 meters and 17 centimeters wide, and about 1 meter thick. Its weight is estimated at about 131 tons. Most of the stone blocks are relatively smaller and easy to process. Specialists in architectural history are of the opinion that the techniques used by the ancient architects to build these structures were unknown to the Incas and the rest of the world at the time. They have achieved perfectly smooth finishes and accurate internal and external right angles. Each stone is so processed that it fits perfectly with the other without the need for the use of mortar. On the decorative elements, you can see precise 90-degree internal angles, which, according to experts, could not have been made with the stone hammers that were then used to work stone. Many sources claim that Tiwanaku reached its peak around AD 700 to 1000, when the city and its surroundings housed up to 400,000 inhabitants. But in the year 1000, suddenly this culture disappeared. Some suggest that a severe drought occurred, causing people to abandon the compound. These unknowns surrounding the construction of the stone structures are the pretext for numerous conspiracy theories surrounding Pumapunku. And yet, the built infrastructure of the complex, including irrigation systems, hydraulic mechanics, and sewage, testify to the high engineering achievements of the ancient people. All this is well known to researchers, but some of the main questions still do not have exact answers. Who, when, how, and why? Share in a comment more ancient civilizations that you would be interested in learning more about.
In this video, we'll take a look at some of the most intriguing alleged discoveries related to ancient aliens and hidden tombs. One of the most famous stories related to this is the Gold of the Gods, which tells of a lost city buried under Ecuador, containing a vast wealth of gold, an ancient metal library, and possibly extraterrestrial involvement. Then we'll go to Peru to look at the unexplained discovery of a humanoid body, which is being heavily investigated as to whether it's an alien or a mutated human. In Kazakhstan, another controversial discovery was recently made, and which is believed to be the oldest surviving pyramid on Earth, after which it was cordoned off by the authorities, who halted any further exploration. All these discoveries and theories have led many to speculate about a possible cover-up of evidence of the existence of alien visitors and gods in the past. Whether you believe in these theories or not, it's hard not to be provoked by the mysteries surrounding ancient aliens and hidden tombs. Are these just crazy stories, or is there more to these mysterious discoveries? The Gold of the Gods. One of the most interesting alleged discoveries is the lost city buried under Ecuador, described in Eric von Däniken's book, The Gold of the Gods. The book claims that the city contains a fortune in gold, an ancient metal library, and evidence of alien involvement in its construction. This sparked interest in the 1970s and led to costly cave explorations led by Hungarian-Italian explorer and entrepreneur Juan Moritz. His team and the Ecuadorian Air Force were exploring the caves in search of the lost city described by von Däniken. The team faced difficulties from the start, treacherous terrain, and a lack of modern equipment to support their survey. Despite these obstacles, they managed to discover a number of caves that showed signs of having been used by ancient civilization. Inside these caves, they discovered a network of tunnels and corridors that contained mysterious artifacts, including extensive stone carvings, sculptures, and ceramics. The most significant find was a collection of metal plates said to be part of an ancient library. In the end, however, the expedition produced little to no concrete evidence to support von Däniken's claims, and the team returned to the United States empty-handed. After all, we ordinary people have no way of knowing for sure whether or not something was discovered there. Juan Moritz himself, in subsequent interviews on the subject, answered rather evasively, and even categorically refused to answer some questions. Der Spiegel: how did you discover the library? Moritz: someone took me there. Der Spiegel: who was the guide? Moritz: I can't tell you. However, this doesn't seem to matter because eventually, the Crespi collection appeared. It is one of the most amazing collections of artifacts from Central and South America gathered in one place. Father Carlos Crespi is a monk who lives in Ecuador. He carried out his missionary work among the local Indian population in very remote areas of the country. Crespi received various artifacts from the local people as gifts. When he asked them where they got them, they told him they found them in the underground cave system in the jungle. Many of these relics were collected by the father of the courtyard of the church, Maria Auxiliadoria. Unfortunately, most of the artifacts were destroyed in a fire in 1962, or later when the church was being renovated. After the father's death, most of them were stolen by treasure hunters, and what little remains of the original collection is no longer publicly available. Most likely the items are kept in the church archives. Their age and origin are unknown to this day. Father Crespi never attempted to classify them. Many of the motifs of the drawings are strange and their meanings are unclear. The items depict pictures from an unknown culture. The most famous of them are tiles made of silver, gold foil, and other alloys, on which there are unknown letters and mysterious symbols. According to one theory, the artifacts that so mysteriously disappeared showed encounters of ancient humans with extraterrestrial civilizations and many blueprints that could change much of our history as well as our religions. According to knowledgeable researchers, the massive network of underground roads and tunnels stretches for thousands of kilometers, passing in addition to Argentina under the territory of Peru and Ecuador. The walls of the tunnels are smooth and polished, and the ceilings flat and level. The tunnels lead to vast underground halls. Mummy of an unknown creature in Peru. In 2017, we witnessed a unique discovery near Nazca, Peru. During an archaeological research, a humanoid body of a creature was discovered, which is currently undergoing extensive research to determine whether it's an alien or a human mutated for unknown reasons. A team of scientists from Peru, Mexico, and Russia has been formed to examine the suspected mummy with DNA, carbon, X-ray, and chemical analysis carried out so far. Researchers indicate an age of the remains of 1,800 to 1,900 years before the beginning of the civilization of the Nazca people who lived along the southern coast of Peru. The researchers say that the discovery is of an unprecedented historical significance, as it is about to prove contact of another type of humanoid beings with inhabitants of Earth. According to them, what was found is difficult to explain, only on the basis of mutation. It is probably a humanoid alien, with distinctive limbs and head. X-rays reveal an uncanny resemblance to the structure of the human body. The Nazca region has been the subject of scientific and archaeological research for decades. Some of the most mysterious geoglyph formations on the planet have been discovered here. Dr. Konstantin Korotkov was part of the scientific team, shared that the discovery provides the scientific community with something that has no prior analog. For the first time, they have the remains of a humanoid being, and so well preserved, which may give them very interesting and important information. The height of the discovered creature is 168 centimeters. In some features, it's close to humans, except for the size of the fingers and the limbs, skull, and eyeballs. The presence of a double bone system of the limbs, as well as 25 distinct vertebrae of the spine, was also established. In humans, it is composed of 32 to 34 vertebrae. The whole body is covered with a substance similar to white powder, which helped to preserve the mummy well. Underneath this substance is dark gray skin. DNA analysis showed that the creature had a pair of X chromosome strands, so it would have to be a female. After this breakthrough, the mummy was named Maria. The position in which the mummy was found is associated with the rituals of ancient Egypt. Another fascinating thing emerges from the X-rays taken. The skull of the brain does not have any cranial sutures. Cranial sutures are bands of connective tissue that lie between the individual bony plates of the skull, connecting them together. The skull of a human infant, for example, consists of 6 separate cranial bones. These bones are connected to each other by a strong elastic tissue called cranial sutures. The spaces between the bones where the cranial sutures meet are called fontanelles. In humans, especially after 30 years, there is a gradual overgrowth of the structures of the cranial vault. Now comes the most interesting fact. This is not the only such uncovered buried body in the Nazca Plateau. While samples of Maria have been sent for an in-depth research and analysis in 5 different countries, archaeologists are finding more of her lookalikes. Since then, there has been nothing more in the mainstream about this case. Today, it's as if it never existed. A Kazakh pyramid has contained the remains of an alien. The discovery of a tomb in Kazakhstan, believed to be the oldest surviving pyramid on Earth, has been the subject of much speculation and debate among UFO enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists. In 2014, a team of researchers from Kazakhstan, Russia, and Germany announced the discovery of a large ancient pyramid in the remote Kastani region of Kazakhstan. According to researchers, the pyramid dates back more than 3,500 years and is much older than any other pyramid in the world, including the Great Pyramid of Giza. In 2015, it was reported that a team of archaeologists had discovered a tomb inside the pyramid, in which human remains with an elongated skull were found. According to archaeologists, the tomb was located in a side chamber of the pyramid and contained a sarcophagus made of rare metal that they were unable to identify. However, the authorities cordoned off the site and did not allow further exploration, leading to speculation that they were trying to cover up evidence of an extraterrestrial presence. One of the boldest assumptions claims that the pyramid in question was built about 12,000 years ago, long before the rise of the ancient Egyptian civilization, and contains a network of underground tunnels and chambers. This and other similar pyramids around the world were built by advanced extraterrestrial civilization. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, many believe that the thorium fits a pattern of evidence suppression by governments and other powerful institutions seeking to keep the public in the dark about the existence of extraterrestrial life. They point to similar cases of alleged cover-ups, such as the 1947 Roswell incident, as further evidence of a conspiracy to cover up the truth. We cannot confirm or deny the existence of the tomb or any other alleged cover-up related to it. It is our policy to neither confirm nor deny claims or rumors that could threaten national security or diplomatic relations with other countries or organizations, says one of the ministry's statements on the case. If you like what we do, please support us by subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment.